No gold is not in her. She's a diamond.
So there was a few of us on the bed, and you know, everyone had just crashed out everywhere. But the moment I opened my eyes, it was about 6:30 in the morning. If I remember, it was about that 6:30, 7:30. It was so long ago now. I don't really remember the minor details. It's an area of my life that I tried to kind of drown out. And I knew immediately there was something wrong. I could feel it. I could feel it in the room. Something weren't right. So I jumped up out of bed and I've run over to my sister. And I've rolled her over, and as I rolled her over, the horror just hit me. You know that she'd clearly passed during the night, but for what reason, I have no idea. And from a very scattered memory, I remember trying CPR, my partner trying CPR, and then her nan come in and tried CPR, and I think the CPR had gone on for like 45 minutes or something while we was waiting for an ambulance to turn up. But it was like well gone, you know, like she had passed like many hours before. So it was just, I remember that feeling, that terrible shock of rolling her over, and that image, I mean, it haunted me. It really did haunt me. So we've then got like a period there where I don't really know what was going on. It's very fragmented in my mind what happened there after that. So I remember being pulled in for questioning by the police because obviously I had cannabis within the house, and there's a young lady that's passed, and there's lots of alcohol, so I got treated really badly, like it was my fault or something, you know. And even now I can feel my energy change just as I'm talking about it. It was a terrible time. But it was really bad because my sister had fallen asleep, like put her head down to the floor, and so this area here on her face had sort of, the blood had sunk to that area, and so then she had passed, and gravity had done its job and pulled all the blood down, or the weight down to there. So as I've rolled her over, it looked like a big black eye, you know. So it looked really bad, and so I understand why the police done what they did. It's just sensitivity wise, you know. I just remember it haunting me, and everyone or feeling like everyone had blamed me for it. So I went on like this binge. I don't really know what had happened, and I was currently working at a shop. I was doing shop work, you know, floating around as a young man, trying to survive, really, trying to do things normally, because I wanted this to work with this young lady that I would later go on and marry. So I tried to be normal and get a job and pay bills and do things the way society wants you to do it, you know. And so it was just so difficult at that point. Now I don't know how many of you out there, if anyone watches it, I don't know if anyone's even interested in my story really, but some people keep asking. So, but I don't know how many of you have actually got like life insurance for your children, or you know, for the scenario of something like that happening. And my parents have never had money, and you know, they've always gone day by day, I would imagine, in some way. They've done an alright job, you know. I'm very grateful for what they did. But they never had insurance for such a tragic event, you know. And so it was it was a tough time because they didn't have anything there. And so they needed money, and I didn't know how else to do it, you know. So it was like I would have to maybe go back to the old kind of life and do things that you don't really want to do, but you've got to do because you've got a funeral to pay for, you know. It was insane. And so I'm sure all the people out there that commit a crime are not doing it out of choice. They do it because there's a need there in some way, and certainly this was a need that was very much required. And so I did the unthinkable. Actually, I just walked into somewhere and took the money. So something I'm not proud of, and in fact, all the things that I've done that have been nasty or horrible, and I'm definitely not proud of. But I've learned so much from those scenarios, and what you should and shouldn't do, and right from wrong. And don't get me wrong, I knew what right and wrong was, but here I am panicking about what's my mum gonna do. My 18-year-old sister has just died, and we have no money to bury her or have her cremated. And so it didn't even enter my head that it was going to affect anyone or going to do anything. The main purpose in my mind was, we need money, I will get money. I went and got money and done it. And I knew immediately I was going to be caught for it. I knew it was going to happen because of the way that I did it. And but I didn't care. You have to understand, I've just lost my 18-year-old sister. My mum's got no money to bury her, and I'm worrying about a prison sentence or something like that. Just didn't even enter my head. And so I took the money, knowing full well that it was going to all go wrong, and it did go wrong, and I did get in trouble. I paid for the funeral, and my mum got her bit. She needed this last amount, and that's what I went and got. And it was one of those. So I ended up going to court and ended up getting like a suspended sentence there, and I was going completely off the rails, and now I'm hitting cannabis at a ridiculous rate now, and again it's just, my mind's just not there. I'm struggling for any sort of account of event that was going on there. And then violence would kick in. I started to get myself into a lot of trouble. I was angry at the world, I was angry at God. Why did he take her? Why did he have to do that? And so everyone that looked at me funny or said something funny, I'd fly off the handle, and just start fighting, needlessly fighting, just fighting anyone and anything. And again, it's like, I'm laughing because it's crazy, the stuff that you do, and I'm looking back, reflecting, thinking, how am I here today talking to a camera with the events that have gone on? Truly incredible. I'm amazed myself that I'm here and doing this, to be honest. And so I found myself in court again and again and again, and I was doing community service orders and another suspended sentence and on probation, and I mean, my world was falling apart, and I lost my job, and it was just going crazy, and it just seemed like the easy way out was just to turn to the drugs and sell the drugs and make loads of money and do it that way. But there was something inside of me that was saying, no, don't be an idiot, you like this woman, get yourself a decent job and go about your business normally, how society wants you to be. And I do remember that conscious thought of doing that. And then my partner fell pregnant, with the first one, and we were just sort of getting on track. I'd found myself a half decent job, and we had just got a flat back in our hometown, and I started to really knuckle down and work my way through this company, like promotion after promotion, and slowly the money went up and whatever. And I actually loved my job. I really did love the job that I did. It was just the later on, that there was a conflict of interest between me and management, where ethics would come into play quite a lot, and it just didn't sit right for me. Anyway, we get to our flat, and then we have a second child, and then life become normal at that point. I was doing 6-7 days a week, and I was doing all the overtime, 2 little kiddies, trying to sort of make a life and have the home and give her everything she wanted, kind of thing. You know, we weren't bad. You know, everything was going well, and life seems to have made a turning point, and people had grown up, and we'd got away. You know, and then I had a terrible eye accident. So some of you may have noticed my eye. And this now I look back, and this was a big turning point in my world. And so I'll quickly go through what happened. So a bit of metal flicked off at home. And went into my eye. So it went through my eye, it hit the back of the eye, tore it, went up, tore it, and come back down. And it was the size of a 5p in there. So they said to me. So actually, I actually walked in and asked my partner, is there something in my eye that something feels wrong in my eye there? So she nearly passed out, and she said, you need to go to hospital. So got in the car and I drove to the hospital. And then at the moment I walked in, they had me on an operating table and started operating to get this bit of metal out of my eye. It was something like 8 or 9 operations, you know, like 8 to 12 hours long, trying to save the eye. And initially they had to sew the metal in. And I remember them saying to me very clearly, and I've just shared this story recently with someone. They said to me, look, it's really bad, we don't know what we're going to do, but Charlie, if that goes green, if your eye turns green, within 24 hours you'll be blind in both eyes. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Don't panic, don't worry, you know, just think positive, you'll be alright, you'll be alright. And so the following morning was the dreaded morning, you know. It was like, I've got to get up and I've got to go to this ward's communal toilet, you know.